Hey, welcome back to Keith Kevin's Repair and Restoration. Today on the almighty Dodge 2010 Hemi, we're going to be changing out thermostat, changing out the upper lower hose, and during my off-camera inspection I also found that the coolant tank was empty and we have coolant coming out of the reserve tank. So in this episode we got a lot to do. We're going to be doing a full cooling service and replacing the burp tank. So stay tuned, we got a lot to do today. Yeah, one thing we find up here is people don't change the thermostats until, well, either they give them a problem or the heater isn't hot, or you get the Pt1, which means it takes longer than 20 minutes to get up to operating temperature, whichever the computer's set at. Usually I find it's about, if it hasn't reached 180 degrees in 20 minutes, you'll get that code. And the reason why it's important with these newer engines, they need to get up to temperature quick to make the emissions work. And, you know, here we are again. Are we doing an actual engine repair or are we working on emissions? And this one's yes, we're doing both. You need to have the engine hot quick. You need it up to at least 200 degrees of water temperature to make sure that your cylinder temperatures are where they need to be efficient. You know, there's an adage out there in the old days, the cooler it runs, the longer it lasts. And albeit that is true, but you can go the other way. You can run it too cold. Obviously you're going to burn through a lot more fuel because the computer's designed to dump a bunch of fuel to get this engine hot. So you need to find that happy median. The factory thermostat in the half tons is 203 degrees. Your 3/4 and 1 ton Dodges with the Hemis are at 192. But the owner of this truck doesn't want it running that hot. You know, as I told him, you know, 200 degrees is pretty much a good happy spot. But with this being a 203, you know, we're finding the thermostat will basically dump and jump and dump and jump, and we want to keep the temperature consistent. So, you know, at 130,000 miles, it's a good time to basically, you know, change thermostat, get the old coolant out. One thing I've found with these Dodges when we're out looking for one to buy, the coolant gets pretty rancid pretty fast, and to me it looks like it's I don't want to say a Dex Cool because it's not, but it is definitely Mopar's proprietary version of a Dex Cool. So what do you need to do? Well, you need to get a big old bucket. You need to get down on the driver's side. You need to pop the pepcock. You need to let it drain. And that's one of those things that this engine will probably take at least a half hour to drain, so plan that. The bleeding process is going to be like usual. You know, it's going to take a minute. We're going to start it up. We're going to smell it get hot. You know, it's going to take us a few heating cooling cycles to get it bled. And one thing you do want to make sure on these trucks, or basically any of these new modular engines, you want to make sure that you actually have a bleed valve built in, because it's one of the quickest ways to get the air out. And I know, unfortunately, with the camera you're not going to be able to see it, but the bleed valve is there. Okay, so right there is your bleed valve to let the air out, so that way we don't have to get this thing up to an insane temperature to have the thermostat open and have it flush the air out through this big opening. We'll actually get some bleeding action as soon as it starts. It also helps balance the pressure between the sealed side of the system and then the cooling side, the upper hose radiator coming back in. This is an aftermarket thermostat, but if you want to run it at about 192, that's your only choice. I haven't worked on the 3/4 ton versions of these trucks yet to see if there's any difference in hoses. I'm assuming there's probably not, but this is what we got today to work on, so that's what we do. Alright, let's get over to the other side of the truck. Okay, for this you're going to need a 16 mil. Now to make this go a lot faster, just pop your radiator cap.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
I forgot because it releases the air. It holds air in. Right?
Yeah, it keeps it sealed, so the air has to actually come in through that hose to let the fluid out. But now we're draining good. It's actually nice and pink, that's good.
Yeah.
May have been done once already.
Orangish pink.
A lot better than that Ford coolant we pulled out.
Yeah. And now it's an even flow.
Yep. Yeah, I can tell you, it's been changed once. So, you know, one thing when you go through and do maintenance, you can tell what's been done and what hasn't. I mean, if you see coolant that, well, would be orange, it's contaminated with combustion gas, or like in this case, you see it nice and pink, you know it's been changed once, because there's no way 130,000 mile coolant's going to look this good. Where we do see a little bit of orange, it's right on top here. This thing holds a lot of coolant. Oh, there's a little bit of combustion gas up here.
There is? How do you know? How can you tell?
Well, if you look down, the camera's not going to show it too well, but there's actually a layer of yuck right on top here.
Oh, ew. I mean,
We'll also examine the radiator cap. And you see just a little bit right there. I'll put an arrow up now. So, yeah, it's been done once. It would be a lot worse, but I see with these Hemis, we do get a little bit of combustion gas in there. And if we look in the reserve tank, when I was doing the inspection, we found it was empty. There's only a little bit on the dipstick reader. See, that's what it will look like if they didn't change the reserve tank. So they didn't change the reserve tank fluid, but they changed the fluid in the radiator. And this is what I find a lot when we come in and do a cooling service. They'll do everything right, but they won't bother with the tank. And it just contaminates. What's the point? But yeah, that's what bad coolant looks like right there. It's orange instead of pretty pink. Yeah, she's got a little bit of orange in her. Still better than some I see, but none the same. It's definitely due up for service. Alright, we'll be back with you once this thing is done draining. Alright, so next time we got the coolant out, we're going to replace the thermostat and upper hose. Now, well, there's two ways you can do this. If you're not replacing the upper hose, you don't even have to undo this hose. You just take the two bolts, pull the thermostat housing off, make sure it's clean, put it back on. In this case, we're going to be replacing the upper hose, because one thing with these hoses, they get dry rotted. And it always seems like the upper hose gets dry rotted well before the lower hose. So, in this instance, I'm actually going to take the hose out of the way for a couple reasons. One, obviously we're replacing it, but number two, to give you guys a better view of the thermostat housing. Years ago on the Magnums, it was quite the feat to replace the thermostat because it was down in the beer keg intake, as they'd call it. And sometimes I found it was easier just to remove either the AC or the alternator. I don't remember, it's been a few years since I've done one, but one of the two we had to get out of the way to do. Where this, they put it on the side, and that's kind of nice. I do like that design, but none the same. If your hose is good, just take 2 bolts. If you're replacing your hose, take it off first, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to use our nifty tool we got from... Yeah, a tool that leaves much to be desired.
nifty tool, more like a pain.
You know, I mean, yeah, it can get the job done.
Yeah, if it's not breaking every 5 seconds.
I like tools that make your life easier, but then, you know, these spring clamps are hard to do. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Even with the good tool on the right day, it still can be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah,
Really?
Clown.
Yeah, I don't know. This tool kind of scares me a little bit.
Yeah, it scares me.
Alright, I'm going to slide this hose off. Hose clamp.
Are we sliding the hose back in?
Nope, taking it out. Because this clamp doesn't want to come apart and I don't want to break it.
Okay, so this clamp right there.
Yeah.
Alright. I'll just move the camera a little bit around so I can get to you. Oh! Oh! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's neat. It sounds like something's dripping out.
Yep, all leftover coolant in the hose. Not my preferred way, but I don't want to break this because we need the support. Alright, we're going to leave that out of our way so it can drain. Alright, so now we're going to disconnect the thermostat housings, the 13mm bolt, 2 of them. But I was found interesting that these are only in at 9 foot-pounds. Alright, so you want to pop these kind of evenly. Don't lose your bolts.
Yeah, that would be bad.
That's definitely the original Dodge thermostat.
How do you know?
I'll show you here in a sec.
So how can you tell it's original? Oh yeah.
How can I tell it's original?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first off, aftermarket thermostat companies don't use orange O-rings. Second, you see this rubber here?
Yeah. It's torn apart.
It's torn apart.
Usually the rubber isn't torn apart, right?
No.
Yikes.
That's really odd to see that. Another thing to make note is the position of the air bleeder. As I suspected, it was going to be on top because air bubbles rise to the top. So you got to make sure when you do this thermostat that you put the bleeder valve up at the most high position. But yeah, this thermostat's the original, and wow. That could explain for a little bit of the odd cooling we were having. When the thermostat was getting stuck open, it would run it all the way down to about 180 degrees and then back up to 203. Interesting. Definitely is the factory original. Alright, done the same. Okay, we're just going to pull it out.
Yikes. It's really orange.
Yeah, so they serviced the coolant, but they didn't change the thermostat. But this thing's been busted for a while. See if we can get it on camera here, what I'm talking about. You can see here where the rubber's all deteriorated. That shouldn't be like that. Oof.
Yikes.
Didn't expect that either.
Where'd that go?
We're losing pieces.
I think it's right by the mop.
Normally it'll tell you what degree thermostat it is when you look here on the bottom. But yeah, this whole thing just came apart. That shouldn't happen. This piece should never fall out. You can actually see right here a rub line where it's actually been sticking. Yeah, this thermostat was trash. Wow. There's a piece of it stuck somewhere in the system.
Right here.
Yeah, it's going to be on the hot side of the radiator. You're not going to be able to get it out unless you replace the radiator. When I do take the upper hose off, I'll try to use the shop vac, see if I can't suck it out, but that piece is in the system somewhere.